Hi, welcome back, Trigger Tribe. I'm Lena, this is Cash and Letty joining me today, and we're gonna take you on a little venture back to 2013, where I competed at my first ever Three Gun Nation shoot-off, and the results of that really shaped my entire career, and it's a pretty funny story. So we're gonna hop right into that right now. 2012, Lena. She was atrocious. She was just getting her start in multi-gun, rifle, pistol, and shotgun action shooting sports. Some would say no good. Some as in me. So 2012 was really kicking everything off, trying to make a name for myself, and at the end of 2012, I won my first ever world title at the IPSC Shotgun World Shoot, and that was like September. Now, roll around to January 2013. Somehow, I had managed to sneak my way into the 4th position slot of what was called the Three Gun Nation shoot-off. And it was this like crazy, new high-speed sport with a lot of money because nobody was making any money. But they showed up and were like, hey, you win this shoot-off, the lady, you get $5,000. Is $5,000 was more money than I had ever even fathomed someone being able to earn shooting guns. So I was also broke at the time, living either in ghetto apartment where I did learn that I would register gunshots off the range, or in my repoed trailer. And $5,000 was game changer. So I tried out in all of 2012 to qualify, and somehow I made my way into the 4th slot. And what other ladies qualified with me? Well, in the #1 seat, we had the reigning champion of multi-gun, Katie Harris at the time. In the 2nd place was Diana Muller, and then 3rd place was my mom, and then me. That was how we made it. So this Three Gun Nation shoot-off wasn't at a convenient time. It was in the middle of SHOT Show. SHOT Show is the industry's largest trade show that we would all have to go to anyways and like work. And then randomly on like a Wednesday night, they're like, hey, bring all of your stuff, your competition gear to Vegas, and then just compete at like for the most money you've ever seen in your life. So I show up to this range where they're going to film the shoot-off for TV in front of a live audience at night under spotlight, just to add some layers of stress to it. I show up to the range that day and we go straight into interviews. And I remember sitting there like I had barely talked on camera. I had not been shooting very good for very long at all. And they like start interviewing me, and they always wanted there to be drama. There was never any drama. We were just trying to shoot. But I remember they asked me, Lena, if you win this $5,000, what are you gonna do with it? And I mean, $5,000, I couldn't even spend that much money. I'd never thought about spending that much money. So I told them that if I won it, I was excited because then I would be able to buy a kitchen table, and I had always wanted a kitchen table. And we did our interview in our little building, and right behind the building is the bay where the shoot-off is set up. And what's cool about shoot-offs are that you literally start back to back with someone. It's like as close to a duel as you can legally do. You know, we're not shooting at each other, we're just shooting at matching targets downrange. So we start back to back to each other, and then on the buzzer, you take off running. And for a multi-gun shoot-off, you take off running to shotgun. You pick up your shotgun. Usually there were like 8 targets and you had 9 shells in your gun. So you're like, gosh, I gotta shoot really fast, but I can only miss once. You shoot your shotgun, you throw it down, you pick up your rifle, and it's a 50-yard offhand plate rack, which might be like, that's only 50 yards. Listen, you try and deliver me on demand 50-yard offhand plate racks with a rifle, and you will be humbled. It is hard. So you do that, you throw your rifle down, and then you run to the last station, which is in the middle, which if you've kept up with your opponent, you're literally running towards each other, like seeing each other go for the handgun, and then you both pick it up and you race to the middle on an array of steel. And then whoever gets their last target down first wins. Live in front of an audience at night for TV, beginning of my career. I was stressing. I walked out from my interview, I saw the stage, and I still have never felt anything like that. I literally couldn't move. I could not walk. I got hit with so much stress, so much adrenaline that my legs felt like they were 8 million pounds. And I remember standing there and just looking. And this is like in the middle of the day. Nobody's here yet, just us. And I wigged out. And I knew that I couldn't be winning if I was wigging out like this. So really fun. I took a chair, went over as far as I could from everyone else, and I faced it towards the berm, and I sat in this chair and closed my eyes and visualized this shoot-off course of fire that I had practiced for months and months. I visualized it for hours, just trying to calm myself down, because I was like sitting in this chair like, it's gonna be okay, we're just gonna shoot, like freaking out. So I did that for a couple hours, really antisocial of me. And then it was finally time to begin. So the first bouts are first and second versus third and fourth. So in my very first ever shoot off, ever, who do I have to shoot off against? I have to shoot off against my mom, but who at the time we were both not only mother-daughter, but also both on Team Smith & Wesson. So we were like team member against team member and mom versus daughter. And luckily we had practiced a lot together, but this was the real go. And it's funny, we have some clips from it, and Dad is the one videoing. And at the beginning of the video, if you listen, he's like, ah man, I don't know who to root for. I don't know who to root for. Who am I gonna root for? As soon as the buzzer goes off, I guess he thought that I got a head start. So as soon as the buzzer goes off and we take off running, he's like, Lena, I'm gonna go with Lena. And I pull through. We shoot our shotguns next to each other. We shoot our rifles next to each other. We race to the center and we pick up handguns. I'm atrocious at handgun, but it's okay. I gained room on the other platforms and I just barely beat her. And it's like, woohoo! I won my round. And it was single elimination up until the final, where it was best, I think 2 out of 3, or maybe even best single. I think it was single elimination all the way. Brutal. Oh gosh. It was single elimination all the way. They didn't. The 3-Gun Nation people, they didn't really like the women shooting, and they didn't really want us there, so they always just tried to get it over with. So it was single elimination all the way through. But I win my first round. Dad cheers for me. I get to continue on. Katie and Diana compete against each other, and Katie wins. So now it's 4th seat, me versus 1st seat, Katie. And Katie wasn't just like good shooter. She was dominating force in the world of multi-gun. And I was this new person that hadn't really won anything yet. So we get set up to go. I'm just like trying to breathe oxygen, and that's really difficult. Still freaking out. And yeah, we line up. We're back to back. We're waiting for our buzzer, and you'll see the footage. The buzzer goes off. I take off running in what looks like slow motion. It looks like I've literally never even tried to run before in my life. Katie takes off. She's fast. She was always super fast on her feet. So she gets to do her shotgun first. And I hear that. Listen, when you're in a shoot-off, the last thing you want is to hear your opponent, because if you're listening to them, you're not paying attention to what you're doing, and you pretty much seal the deal of losing. I pick up my shotgun and I hear her like have already shot once or twice, and I'm like, ah! And I shoot my shotgun, I have some makeup shots, I put it down, I run to rifle. Luckily, shotgun and rifle were my strengths. And rifle, that 50-yard offhand plate rack, it was like the game changer. Like if you could just nail the rifle, you could do pretty darn well. And I pick it up and I don't nail it because I am like vibrating from adrenaline and stress. But I do good enough that I get ahead of her and we race to handgun. Now, if you pause while I pick up my handgun and zoom in on the gun that's in my hand, you'll notice that I'm wearing a Smith & Wesson jersey and I'm not shooting a Smith & Wesson handgun. And that's because I am supposed to be shooting an M&P pistol, a polymer pistol for my brand, but I sucked too bad at shooting it that I knew that if I shot this polymer gun, I would seal the deal in me losing, because handgun was my greatest weakness. So I pick up not a Smith & Wesson gun that I'm supposed to be shooting, but a beautiful 6-inch 2011 custom-built Cameron custom gun. And I shoot it still pretty atrociously bad because I'm a bad handgun shooter, but I happen to be good enough that day. And I didn't give up, even though she started to catch me again on handgun. And I get my last steel target down, and da 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 da, the crowd goes wild. I don't know, I didn't hear anything. I was just pretty much blacked out that whole time. But I imagine that the crowd went wild because fourth seat made a rise all the way to first. The underdog got to win, and I got to get my $5,000 check. I got my first big check ever, and I indeed did go home and buy a kitchen table, and life continued on. But yeah, Three Gun Nation Shoot Off. It was a fun series that went on for a long time. In years to come, the purse for High Lady winning the shoot off got bigger and bigger. I was able to win like $25,000 checks there at the end, but sadly the series only went on for about 4 to 6 years. I also showed up finally during that time in competitive shooting, so I was able to win from that point on. I think all but 2 of the qualifiers and all of the major shoot offs. So Three Gun Nation bought me my first kitchen table, my first couch, helped me pay off my repoed trailer, bought me like a driveway. It was fantastic. It was more money than I had ever fathomed, and it really boosted my confidence and proved to me that I did have a place within the multi-gun world, and that I had what turned out to be a really long and successful career in it. But my goodness, you talk about stressed and freaking out. That was my first ever shoot off, and shoot offs are my favorite type of competition to this day. Man, there's just something about standing back to back in a box with your opponent and then taking off running and just powering through everything. There's not a moment to think. You can't pay attention to them. It's all about you. It's all on the line. Anyone can win, and that was where it all kicked off. And then I learned to master shoot offs, and it kicked off my whole career, and it was really fun, and I made money, and I got a big check. And there's some TV series episodes that I've never seen of myself. I've never watched Three Gun Nation, but there's apparently like 5 seasons that you can go back and see the little baby Lena, probably with 0 personality, terrified to talk on camera, just trying to make a living. But now here we are on YouTube chatting about it. So that's my story. Hopefully you enjoyed it. The moral for this story is we're all atrocious at things at some point. And if you think that that's the end, or you let the doubts like come in, ooh, you're done. But if you can visualize it, if you can see yourself executing the task at hand, each step. Man, I visualized for hours on end every sight picture on every target, every step, every movement. And that day, I was not the best shooter on the range, but I was the best shooter on the range right then. So believe in yourself, train, and then you can't have something, I think, if you can't truly see yourself earning it and having it. And each step matters. Little tiny steps give you the end result that you're seeking. So stick with it, work through it, and I don't know, learn how to channel some adrenaline, because man, did it cripple me. And thank goodness I haven't had an experience like that on the range again. But also, if I did, it kind of seems like it'd be real exciting now. I kind of want to find something that would wig me out that much pressure. It's a little addictive, but anyways, that's it. Thanks for listening, Trigger Tribe. I appreciate it. Cash rolled out of frame in case you wanted to see him. Here he is. He says goodbye. Letty here. She's a champ. She's been through most of it, and we hope to see you in the next video.